This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's community access radio station Plains FM 96.9 and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
It's time for Emergence News on Plains FM 96.9, citizen-made radio.
Hello and welcome to Emergence News, brought to you by the kind and loving people at Plains FM and our lovely producer who's pulling faces at me at the moment. Okay, we're a group of volunteers who bring you information about the emergence of Maitreya, the World Teacher. He is emerging into the everyday world of humanity, and we are helping you track this phenomenal event. The people who put this radio program together, Nigel, Peter, myself, and sometimes the globe-trotting Shafia, have often debated the content and direction of the program. One of our concerns has been how esoteric we go, how deeply we get into the teachings of Maitreya and the Masters. Anyway, we've decided to go deeper. And for no apparent reason that I'm aware of, and I don't know if we had any decision-making around this, guys, we've decided on the Antahkarana to start with. How did we come upon that? Was there a process that...
It was one of your ideas.
Thank you, Nigel, and thank you, Peter, and my name is John, and we're to kick off Emergence News. It's my turn to introduce the program. So I'm going to start with the definition of esotericism, and then I'll give you a slice of the Antahkarana, and I'll spell it for you. Antahkarana. I've gone to the glossary of esoteric terms available from the Share International website. So here's the definition of esotericism. This is the philosophy of the evolutionary process both in man and the lower kingdoms in nature. The science of the accumulated wisdom of the ages. It presents a systematic and comprehensive account of the energetic structure of the universe and of man's place within it. Man as the name of the race. And describes the forces and influences that lie behind the phenomenal world. Also, the process of becoming aware of and gradually mastering those forces. And while I'm at it, I'll give you from the same source the definition of the Antahkarana. This is an invisible channel of light, forming the bridge between the physical brain and the soul, built through meditation and service. The best way to study this phenomenon, this Antahkarana, is to read the Alice Bailey teachings, in particular the book Education in the New Age, and there's further references through the rays and initiations. But let me continue with the introduction. For long ages, the soul on its own plane looks down at its reflection, the man or woman on the physical plane. And we have to get used to that idea. We are physical vehicles and energetic vehicles, but we are souls in incarnation. And it sees no way to interfere with its development, with the development of the physical vehicles on this plane. There is very little the soul can do except create a body, give it its various physical, astral and mental makeup, and leave it to get on with the job of evolution. Eventually there comes a life, a series of lives in fact, in which the soul sees that its reflection, the man or woman, is beginning to respond to the influence of the energy which connects the soul to its reflection, and the process of ensouling begins. Krem is asked, why is meditation so important? And he starts with, meditation is the process which sets this in motion. That is why in every religion and training, at the basis of all paths of ascent is meditation of one kind or another. It may not be transmission meditation or the various meditations you have come to know or read about, but some form of meditation and alignment with the soul and its nature must take place, because it is the soul who has incarnated. The soul cannot be avoided or bypassed. The soul is the reality. That reality has to be recognized, and the method by which it is recognized is through creating the bridge, the Antahkarana, the path of return. We do it one step at a time. Each of us right now is engaged in creating this Antahkarana. Another term is the bridge of light, but Maitreya calls this building of this bridge self-realization. And he tells us, I have come to teach the art of self-realization. The art of self-realization is the science of the Antahkarana. They are one and the same. It's an interesting take on that. Because Maitreya has said that the simplest, most direct path is to practice three things. Honesty of mind, sincerity of spirit, and detachment. And we've covered that off previously. These three things bring about self-realization. And they do so by enabling the man or woman to create the Antahkarana. For the vast majority of people in the world, this is a process which goes on up till a certain time quite unconsciously. Most unevolved individuals are connected only by the sutramata, which is what you're going to talk about later, I think, Nigel. Yep. That's the life thread coming from the oversoul through the soul and anchored in the heart. Average humanity are connected also by the thread of consciousness, the Antahkarana.
That sounds really nice, doesn't it? Anchored in the heart.
Yeah, yeah. But it's anchored on the right-hand side, not on the left-hand side where the physical heart is, on the right-hand side where there's a cavity. And that's where the Christ consciousness starts to develop. So this is the starting of this building of the bridge. The energies of the soul become available to the vehicle through this bridge. Then the creative process begins. This stimulates the mind and the creative imagination, and a life of creativity and service ensues. Creativity and service are one and the same. Service is the life of the soul creatively expressed on the physical plane. This then dominates more and more in the life of the individual, and so we get the creation of our culture. Cream goes on to tell us, and I'll finish on this, three major sciences will dominate in the new age: the science of the Antahkarana, the science of meditation, and the science of service. The science of service utilizes the creativity which is achieved through the building of the Antahkarana, and the science of meditation, of course, is a preliminary process leading to and essential to the creation of that bridge. So the science of the Antahkarana is very broad indeed, including that of meditation service. And Nigel, you're going to talk to us about that aspect.
Yes, the role of meditation and service
Right.
in developing the Antahkarana.
Okay, Peter, and you're going to talk to us about
the Antahkarana as well.
Yes,
But
that's why you're here today.
Yes, indeed. But yes, I just want to link it to the meditation and the intuition.
So Peter, take us away.
Thank you, John. The Antahkarana. This is a science which is as yet unknown to humanity, but it will be the coming science of mind of the new age, the science of building the bridge between the lower and higher mind and higher man, and also a number of other bridges between the members of the human race as a whole, between one centre, the humanity, and another, hierarchy. Between hierarchy and Shambhala, and between humanity through hierarchy and Shambhala. Between this planet and other planets, this solar system and other solar systems. All these bridges and connections are the results of the correct use of the science of the Antahkarana, which will be the major educational field for humanity in this coming age. The Antahkarana is the bridge that we build between the personality and the soul, sometimes called the rainbow bridge, because it brings together the colours of all the rays in our makeup, blending them together. As we become more evolved, we can use this bridge to bring soul energy to our work of service on the physical plane. For this is the reason for our incarnation on this earth, to spiritualize matter. The energies which animate the physical body and the intelligent life of the atom, the sensitive emotional states, and the intelligent mind, have eventually to be blended with and transmuted into the energies which animate the soul. These are the spiritual mind, conveying illumination, the intuitive nature, conferring spiritual perception, and divine livingness. A lot of people have this intuitive aspect in their makeup. It may come and go, as does mine, but steadily it becomes stronger and more certain. Do people have intuition? as well. John?
I've read a lot about Cream's definition of intuition, and it's a very high and pure thing indeed. I'm not sure I'm quite there yet.
What about you, Nigel? Do you know intuition? Do you have moments of intuition?
I feel as though I do, particularly when I'm meditating.
Yes. Yes, I think we all probably do at various times, and we don't quite know how we get the instant answers.
You have an idea and you think, where did that come from?
One of the things that Cream said that I really liked is he talked about you know because you know because you know.
Yes.
And that is intuition.
Yeah.
And I think we get caught up in gut instinct. Gut instinct is not intuition.
No.
Gut is undigested food and bile. and astral.
Yes.
We don't use that to manage our lives with.
No. But my wife has just passed a couple of weeks ago, and I've had one or two intuitive flashes from her.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like answers that are instant. They're not, there's no thinking about it. I mean, if you're doing it yourself, you're thinking about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But these are like instant.
Mm-hmm.
There's no pause at all between the question and the answer. So it's sort of been interesting to me to see that aspect of it.
Yeah, well, that's right. As John said, you know, gut instinct. There's a big difference between instinct, an instinctual response, to an intuitive response.
That's right, yes. This building of the Antahkarana takes place when the person is beginning to be definitely focused on the mental levels, and when therefore his mind is intelligently and consciously functioning. As this energy goes forth into the world of higher spiritual mind, it goes to the realm of the intuition. This response between the higher and lower mind is symbolically spoken of in terms of light. The lighted way comes into being between the personality and the spiritual triad through the soul body. And the spiritual triad is, once again, above the soul body. It incorporates the monad as well. This lighted way is the illumined bridge. It is built through meditation. It is constructed through the constant effort to draw forth the intuition. The soul, through the agency of the mind, has to control the emotional body and make it limpid and clear for its true purposes, a fitting vehicle for the Buddhic or intuitional level of consciousness. So we virtually have to get rid of emotional things in our thinking process or emotional process.
Or our emotional response.
Yes, that's right. And we've got to make that clear and be detached from that. And this is what we keep talking about.
I guess you need to know if you're operating from the mind or the emotions.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which one as long as you know
Yeah.
which one you're operating from.
That's right. And so it's a learning process for absolutely every one of us.
Greater self-awareness.
Yes. Yep.
Each of us right now is engaged in creating the Antahkarana, and another term for it is beside the bridge of light is self-realization, which John has already talked about, which is what Maitreya calls it. I have come to teach you the art of self-realization. In the present solar system, God is love. We're a second-ray solar system. Love is the aspect of the soul, will of the atmic level of being. In the next solar system, God will be will and purpose. We are all of us as microcosms evolving in precisely the same way as the macrocosm, our solar logos, through his threefold expression. It works out its plan of evolution in every kingdom and in every planet. It comes into incarnation, therefore, and we are doing something quite extraordinary, something far greater than we as individual beings possibly realize. But as soon as we do realize the interconnectedness of the microcosm to the macrocosm, it deepens our sense of purpose, the sense of reality in life, and it is also a stimulus to concentrate more and to build a direct line of ascent between the low level, for that's what it is, expression of deity, and bring it into line with the underlying purpose of deity for its perfectionment. This is the Emergence News on Plains FM. For more information, go to shareinternational.org.
Thank you, Peter. Nigel, what have you got for us?
Thank you, John. I'm looking at the role of meditation and service in developing the Antahkarana. Benjamin Creme describes how the Antahkarana is built in his book Maitreya's Mission, Volume 2. And he says, through the Antahkarana, the bridge of light, the soul pours its energies into its reflection. That's the man or woman on the physical plane. The Antahkarana is built downwards by the soul as the individual begins to meditate. So it's a two-way process, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Also, through meditation and aspiration, it is built by the individual up to the soul. It is a two-way process. It is a column of light of 3 strands of force: the will, love, wisdom, and intelligence, which enters through the crown chakra at the top of the head. From that chakra, it flows through the nadis of the nervous system, and that is the ultimate reason for the nervous system. That's an interesting statement, isn't it? Mm. From a talk at a weekend transmission meditation workshop, this is in the Netherlands and Holland back in 1987, Benjamin Creme says, all forms of meditation developed over the last 2,000 years of Pisces, and therefore under the influence of Piscean energy, they have been individual meditations. They have been designed to bring the man or the woman into soul contact, leading eventually to at-one-ment with the soul. When through meditation the soul is contacted, it can stimulate and eventually grip its vehicle. That's the man or woman incarnation. Through meditation, a channel called the Antahkarana is built between the personality and the soul. Simultaneously, the soul itself is building that same channel downwards to its reflection, the personality. And this process starts just before the first initiation. So it's interesting that through the Piscean age, most meditation practice has been individual, whereas if you think about transmission meditation, for example, it's
a group meditation.
It is definitely not an individual practice, is it? Continuing with Benjamin Creme's writings in Maitreya's Mission, Volume 2, he says, as you approach the first initiation, your own soul brings you into meditation of some kind. John referred to this earlier. This forms and strengthens the link between the soul and its vehicle. Through meditation, the bridge, the Antahkarana, a channel of light is built. It is built downwards by the soul and also upwards by the person meditating. Gradually, this link is formed through which the soul can grasp its vehicle and bend the personality to its will, to its purpose, and that is to serve the plan of evolution under the law of love. It's no small thing. The soul needs to serve. As soon as you come into contact with your soul, you desire to serve. You cannot help yourself because it is the soul's impulse to serve, and it seeks to impress that on the mind of its reflection. Of course, you can serve or not serve. No one makes you serve except the soul, but you can quite easily take no heed of the soul. The soul has endless eons of time, so it is in no hurry and will repeat the call again and again. But eventually, one day, you will heed that call and start serving. And in this way, the soul is creating an instrument, a reflection of itself, through which its plans and purposes can be carried out. But there is no special time frame in which to do it. So if you're wondering why you get drawn to meditation,
that's the concept I love about this that Creme's unpicked for us, and that is, if you're sitting here listening to a talk about meditation, that's your soul urging. Surely you should pay attention. Pick up meditation. Make it an important part of your life. Your soul wants to communicate with you, and it does that through meditation. Pick up meditation.
Give it a go.
Give it a go.
And it doesn't matter what form of meditation you try.
Right.
Try whatever you're drawn to initially. All right, and to finish here, I've got a passage taken from Maitreya's Mission, Volume 3. They're a great trilogy of books, aren't they?
Fabulous.
Benjamin Creme says from this volume 3, in previous discussion, and as John, you said earlier, in previous discussions on this program, we have spoken of the path to self-realization. Maitreya says the simplest, most direct path is the practice of honesty of mind, sincerity of spirit, and detachment. Now, if you study these practices and actually implement them in your life, then these bring about self-realization. According to Maitreya, they do so by enabling the man or woman to create the Antahkarana. Most unevolved individuals are connected only by the sutrama. That's the life thread coming from the monad through the soul. Average humanity are connected also by a thread of consciousness, the Antahkarana. And as the person evolves through the building of the first stage of the Antahkarana, that between the lower man and the soul, the energies of the soul become more increasingly available to him or her. And then, as you said, then the creative process begins. This is where it gets exciting, because initially our ability to serve is actually quite limited. Mm-hmm. Not only because of lack of desire or energy, but because we do not know enough. We can serve in a rather limited way because our consciousness is limited. So the more conscious one is, or the higher the level of consciousness, the greater number of threads of consciousness extending outwards to the world, the greater awareness there will be of the nature of reality. These are the threads of the Antahkarana, which is not simply a column of light, but threads of awareness spreading outwards from the individual into every sphere of his or her environment.
So that comment that we're all connected is quite true on an energetic level.
There is no separation. And you hear that often, don't you? You hear there is no separation.
It's almost a cliche now.
It is, but that helps give one a better understanding of what it actually means.
It's an energetic connection. All this information can be found on the Share International website, www.share-international.org. Scorpio Books in Christchurch carries the magazine and some books. And also don't forget the podcasts, which are available on the Plains FM website.
We welcome your comments, questions and feedback. Please contact us at emergencenews@gmail.com.
The opportunity to join our transmission is available Monday and Wednesday evenings and Thursday mornings, which gives us the possibility to do a service meditation in conjunction with Masters.